Hey people, it is Paul Wilson Lindner Jr., aka Positive Paul, February 16th, 2023. Now, as demonstrated once again yesterday, as I left the house to try to do something constructive, help out my family, which only consists of my son and his mother, a few other people involved, but with respect to my situation, they've been brainwashed to think that none of this is happening or possible. Now, the genius of these Satanists is their ability to create these smoke screens to cover their tracks, to do damage control concerning their victims. Now, one could create a long list of crimes against children and adults, but at the top of the list would be these mind control projects, keeping things in a post-World War II perspective, the original MK Ultra, and leading up to the infamous so-called Montauk Project. What one would be concerned with if they somehow have been affected directly or indirectly by the activities of these Satanists. And we'll just use that term. It's truly a global phenomenon at this point. And one of my YouTube subscribers, probably a couple years ago, stated this, that at this point, the world is one giant Montauk Project. And there's some truth to that, but I'm having problems trying to put together a video due to the fact that I have no privacy at all where I'm at, constant disruptions on top of the people around me don't want me making these videos. So I want to bring up one point concerning an individual that was on YouTube for quite some time. His name was Deane Zakaos Ewing, otherwise known as Zakaos. This individual claimed to be a victim of the military-industrial satanic complex. And that's my term. The military-industrial complex is actually the military-industrial satanic complex. But Zakaos was an individual that sounded pretty sure of himself, provided a lot of information, a lot, it's for all of us, it's hard to prove, to tie these Satanists down in their activities. So, all we can do is, unfortunately, what we're provided with is this platform called social media, which is a tightly controlled venue in relationship to one's ability to have a wide, to be able to get your message out to, a large part of the population specifically within the United States, but Europe, Canada, Australia. But Zakaos, during his process of trying to defend himself and bring awareness to the delicate matters of human trafficking and these sicko Satanists, these pedophiles, and what the so-called government, shadow government, deep state, whatever you want to call it, has been up to, while the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. Everything's compartmentalized. You have people that they sound like do-gooders, they're doing a job, but they never really seem to progress and get anywhere with eliminating some of these more nefarious activities, such as satanic rituals, the abuse of children. And the question becomes, is the experimentation that was on the level seen in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, is that still continuing, or have they figured out pretty much all there is to figure out on how to control humans, or at least brainwash them, kind of keep them in the dark? But it seems like when you hear the testimony of Zakaos, one would definitely say, hey, this guy is sure of himself. He seems to be privy to a lot of information, but the question is this all from memory? Or is this something that we like to, once we identify something that we can relate to, we want to, hold on to it, use it as part of our way of explaining situations that may be taking place in our life, such as harassment, stalking, why that would occur. And, if it has something to do with some type of criminal investigation, where do they start? Where do they end? When do they stop putting resources, meaning money, into following somebody around? Is there such a thing as a never-ending investigation, where if there's a group or an organization that claims to be trying to do good, is there a point to where they give up and say, hey, look, you know what, might have made a mistake, and we've spent all these tens of millions of dollars only to come up empty-handed, but also the only thing that they can show is what they've made up, what their side of the story is, folks. It's always a one-sided story. So the point is, using me as an example, the United States government has spent millions of dollars over the course of, at least I can pin down the last 13 years, on a very elaborate harassment, psychological warfare against myself, Paul Wilson Lindner Jr., but only never, ever to question me. But now that I've left the United States, it's 2023. Essentially, I haven't, been back but a couple times since 2016. And due to the fact I have a son with a Mexican woman, I've been here in Mexico. in Rosarito Beach. But again, there is a group. It started out essentially trying to find a way to keep tabs on me. And the only way they accomplish that is by using an elaborate entrapment scheme and create false documents and bring this to the Mexican authorities to try to get them roped into this surveillance harassment scheme against me, which is all related to my MK Ultra satanic ritual abuse and these implants that are in me. And if they gave me a proper medical evaluation, if they said they're not there, then there you go. There's the biggest lie ever. And the thing of it is, their lies can only get them so far. But the point I want to make is they've spent tens of millions of dollars slandering me down here in Mexico, only to come up empty-handed, only to never ever question me. And it's so sad to see these people that are they've been so beat down through poverty, other issues, that they're intellectually, they do not have the ability to question of what is being told to them. They just take it as gospel truth, but the reality is there's a benefit, a financial benefit, which overrides, the human concern, compassion, humanity, that a person, and this is so far gone in the United States, it's sad that a person would actually want to spend their time harassing someone, stalking someone. And it's an indication that the authorities either are up to no good or they can't do their job. So Zakaos, he was in Mexico. He was at the receiving end of these corrupt Mexican authorities that can be bought off at the snap of a finger. This isn't new news, but he clearly was being set up. But the point is he was part of something. There's no doubt that they were doing something to this guy. And it's the same people, I believe, the same group, which these people come and go, they die, new ones take their place. But in order to get into this satanic sphere of influence and get your hands on money, power, control, you have to do evil. So Zakaos was at the receiving end of everything I've been going through. But the problem is his information is conflicting with what we've learned about these conspiracy theories, specifically the Montauk Project. Now, the reason why I do think Zakaos, Deane, Ewing was for real is his last 3 videos. So let's look at this real quick.
Well, here I am in Buffalo, I guess at the medical center on 10th Street, off Niagara. It has been a rough day. I'm so tired. I can't believe anything. My feet hurt. Packed my place. Got taken to the Rainbow Bridge and crossed it. And I'm homeless, so I'm going to start looking for a place to sleep tonight. I don't know this town. So that's how it goes. Peace, people. And thanks for not helping me.
Okay. That was one of 3 videos that he had done on July 29th, 2016. And ironically enough, that was the day that the military industrial satanic complex unleashed on me of what you people on social media want to call gang stalking, harassment. But when you listen to Deane, you can hear in his voice that he was at the end of his rope, physically, mentally. He doesn't know what to believe in anymore. He had been in Canada a couple months prior trying to apply for refugee status in Canada. He was supposed to have a hearing on June 29th, the month before. I'm not sure if that took place. I think it did, but the end result is his claim, his application was rejected. And part of his story, I guess, during this refugee application process was testifying the fact that he was a victim of the military industrial satanic complex. Now, he might not have said that like that, but you understand what I am saying. So he makes these videos on July 29th, 2016, and then passes away the following day up in Buffalo, New York. I was able to find his obituary in one of the newspapers up there. So I'm going to use Deane as an example because his birth date was January 5th, 1974. And he claims to have been part of the Montauk Project. Now, let's make it clear, he was part of something. Somehow he throws a lot of names around and he does spell it out how he found himself in this position. But again, with the memory recall and trying to witness about a situation like this, you don't want to overcomplicate the matter because people will get easily confused or they'll outright reject what you're saying because it just sounds crazy. So they rejected his refugee claim and then deported him back to the United States. As he just stated, they dropped him off at the Rainbow Bridge. He also states in the next video that he had told the Border Patrol about human trafficking, this and that. But we're going to look at his very last video on July 29th, 2016.
I'm back in America, homeless, my stuff, my food. And check it out, let me sit down. I put up some videos, and right as soon as I put up a video, right over my head, check it out, medical center, Niagara Falls, I'm fucking homeless, and this is what the government does. I couldn't stay at the shelter because they would have targeted all the kids tonight. So I'm gonna find another place to sleep. This is what they do. and I'm fucking broke and homeless. And, Canadian government can't, this isn't happening, right? The judge couldn't verify it. Peace. I can't fucking believe this shit. My feet hurt so fucking bad from walking from the border and putting my bags at a church. So, I don't know. This is it. Peace.
They think that they can kill us all off. I hope Zakaos is resting in peace. I believe he made a genuine effort to fight these Satanists while the rest of the United States, most of the population, would rather be Benedict Arnolds, would rather be snitches on their neighbors, would rather stick their head in the sand and not stand up and put these Satanists in their place. If I explained everything what they've been doing down here in Mexico, going all the way back to 2012, I've been walking around in poverty for 5 years now, playing games with these assholes that can't face me. They won't come question me, but they run around and slander me and buy off whoever they can buy off, and it's not that hard. So I know what Zakaos went through. And so this video is dedicated to him and anybody else that has been affected by these Satanists. And what they need to know is they're not going to get away with this in the end. They can kill their victims off. Then who will be left? Just like Cardinal Niemöller said, when they came for the Jews, no one stood up. What happens when they come for you? Well, you will be finding out very soon, America, because no one's getting out of this. That much I can guarantee. God bless Zakaos and everybody else that wants to do the right thing and expose evil. Point out who the perpetrators are, and if you become broke, homeless, and then death is upon you, so be it. You will meet your Maker, and your reward will be in heaven, as long as you have that connection. And I pray Deane had that connection. So, folks, there you go. And hopefully we'll meet again.